We all love our babies, especially for the new parents who always like to give extra attention and care to their baby. But we have to remember care not always do good to your baby. Today, I would like to talk about 10 things parents do that makes their kids stupid. But before that, this is Jash from Health App. If you want to know more latest health facts and tips like this, be sure to go down below, press the subscribe button and the notification bell so you are always notified on my latest videos. See you after the break. Number 1. Nipple after a year. The chewing reflex in a baby is closely associated with a sense of security and comfort. However, by the year, the child's level of development allows him to regulate his emotional state in more complex and at the same time more effective ways. For example, he may complain and receive affection and sympathy from an adult in response or indicate with a gesture what he needs and eliminate the cause of discomfort. If there is only one way to solve any problem is by having a nipple, then in the future the child can remain faithful to this habit. At primary school age, they bite the ends of pens and pencils, and in the older age, they tend to smoke. In addition, according to experts, having a nipple is associated in the baby with the breast of the mother, and when he eats, he develops a sense of security. Thus, if the baby have the nipple, he always feels safe, and this is not always good. As you know, a person develops only if he leaves the comfort zone. If the baby has nipple all the time, then the feeling of comfort will not leave him and he will not have any incentive to develop. Number 2. Diapers after 1.5 years. Of course, it would be too much to urge parents to revive the era of gauze diapers and diaper dermatitis. However, for the development of control over the functions of his body, it is necessary for the child to experience some inconvenience, to which he could respond. It is important to remember that in childhood, the ability to control your potty business is closely related to the ability to regulate behavior in general. Therefore, if you are trying in vain to deal with moods, aggressions, and tantrums, start by accustoming yourself to the potty. Number 3. Carved spoons and walkers at any age. Carved spoons are great as it reduces any wasting of food and easy to feed babies, but do not contribute to the development of spatial representations. The same problems but in the whole body occurs in children when using walkers. Without falling and not being able to feel the surrounding with elbows and knees, the child will form a different picture of the world longer than other children. Number 4. Talking interactive toys after 2 years. This is not about squeaking or making any other sound toys, but about fur animals with electronic feeling, capable of speaking whole phrases and answering simple questions of the baby. Advertising about them usually says that they will become the best friends of the child. In fact, it is this property of talking toys that should alert parents after all. After all, communication is not only the ability to speak, but also the ability to navigate the context of the situation, evaluate facial expressions and intonations of the interlocutor. A child who spends a lot of time communicating with any interactive toy learns only to mechanically repeat words. In addition, a modest set of phrases artificially limits the plot of the baby's game. Number 5. TV at any age. Since only the lazy one doesn't write about the harm of the TV, we will only say that not only the content of many programs negatively affects, but also the habit of using the TV as a constant sound background. Some children get so used to it that they can't be in silence afterwards, which affects their studies and discipline at school. Number 6. Sweets without limits. The habit of quickly satisfying hunger with candy has failed more than one generation of adults, so there is no need to repeat their mistakes. When parents complain that the child eats nothing but sweets, one always wants to ask, where does he get them from? Practice shows that a person who is not fed all day eats everything in the evening. Number 7. Electronic games without limits. Despite the useful learning effects of many tablet or phone games, it is often leveled by the large amount of time that the child spends on the game. The absence of restrictions sharply increases the risk of addiction, as a result of which thoughts about the game and the effects associated with it displace everything else. Number 8. Monster toys at any age. As they said in the days of our parents, being determines with consciousness what will be filled with the consciousness of the baby. If he begins consist of ugly dolls sleeping in coffins or transformers with merciless grimaces. Number 9. Three-wheeled scooters after 3 years. If two-wheeled scooter develops a sense of balance in a child, then three-wheeled scooter help the baby learn to lean on one leg and push off the other, without coordinating these processes with each other. Therefore, if you want the child to acquire new skills, it is worth teaching him to manage with fewer wheels. Number 10. Free pocket money at any age. Not all adults pass the test of easy money, not to mention that children. In order for a child to learn how to plan expenses, he must be in a situation of choice. For example, paying for breakfast or buying chewing gum and going hungry. Otherwise, your offspring will behave like the poor man who won the lottery, to buy everything in a row simply because he can buy it. So, as a parent, if you really want your kids to be smart and successful in life, you definitely should follow these rules. Be healthy, be happy always. Remember to stay tuned with this channel. See you later and thanks for watching.